Pod Network Entertainment.
Jacob,
Oh,
nasan tayo ngayon?
andito tayo sa bagong studio ng The Pod Network.
Grabe, no? Para lang tong alam mo ba talagang di ba yung episode nating sumakses?
Oh.
Pati yung TPN talagang sumakses na.
Oo, success.
Yes, kaya naman, parang medyo, alam mo yung naaamoy ko pa yung pintura, yung mga gamit. Alam
Naamoy
mo
ka pa
bagong
ba?
Naamoy ko,
Oo.
Oo.
Naamoy ko siya sa
Oo nga.
sa bagong...
Wow,
Oo.
Tsaka, dati kung mapansin sa mga podmates natin, yung upuan namin, alam mo yung dati itim lang?
Oo.
Oo, tas di ba,
May
tas ito
kulay
yung
na.
background, tapos puti yung table, pero ito talagang, wala, sumakses na
Tsaka
talaga.
kitang-kita ko yung mukha mo. Dito ang linaw ng mukha
Oo,
mo.
tsaka, abangan nyo na lang yung mga susunod pang setup. Pero
Oo.
may isa pa talaga akong tanong sa'yo.
Ano?
Anong ginawa mo o nasan ka noong May 12, 2025? Mga bandang
May
8 to
12?
9 p.m.
8 to 9 p.m. Nasaan ba ako nun? Feeling ko kakauwi lang namin.
Bakit?
Di kasi, di
kumain
ba
kayo sa labas?
bumoto, tapos pumunta kami, lumabas kami, kumain, ganon. Tapos, yun yung first time kong mag-check ng mga ano. Tapos nagulat ako, 8 o'clock, may may results na yung precinct namin.
Precinct niya. Oo, yung precinct.
Yeah. And nung 2022 kasi, nung tinitingnan ko yung results ng precinct namin, sabi ko, ito yung mga kabarangay ko.
Pangit, di ba?
Tapos parang dito, sabi ko,
Yun talaga?
wait, what?
Totoo.
Huh?
Totoo. Like, grabe yung sumakses din.
Tsaka alam mo yung tiwang, nagbago bang mga tao na nasa presinto?
O diba, kung like, grabe yung, ewan ko kung growth ba or evolution or improvement. Pero sa akin nung mga ganung panahon, kasi nagko-coverage kami sa Matanglawin. Sabi ko sa kanila, abangan nyo mga 8 p.m. baka lumabas yan.
Natatawa nga ako kasi parang bawat isang member merong may video throughout the day or may picture.
Parang yun namin sige, basta kung kumuha ganyan. So, nung wala pa nung 8 p.m., kasi yun yung nung nalaman ko leading na sa BBM nung 2022. Pero natagal. Pero naunang lumabas yung presinto, sabi ko, teka, bakit parang naberwan si Ma'am Aquino sa presinto namin?
Tsaka, parang nakita ko din sa news coverage na sabi, expected daw, baka daw tomorrow morning pa. Sabi ko,
mabilis lang.
Sabi ko, nung 2022, parang 9 p.m. pa lang, halos 60% ng taas na.
Diba? So yun, lumabas ng resulta, Success! Pero may disbelief ba? Na sigurong pwede pa nating ma-unpack dahil grabe din.
Tsaka ako yung tipong, chinek ko talaga lahat ng precinct dun sa kung saan ako bumoto, sa district namin. Kasi sabi ko talaga, wait lang, lahat kayo? Ito yung minoto natin?
Skeptical.
Huh?
Skeptical, di ba? Di makapaniwala.
Paano?
Di talaga makapaniwala. And sigurado kung hindi rin makapaniwala ang mga podmates natin. Kaya hello to everyone all over the world. Magkakasama na naman tayo sa isang gabing puno ng kwentuhan, tawanan, at siguro minsan may seryosong usapan. Ito pa rin ang
Ganito kasi yan. Powered by the Pod Network.
At kasama nyo pa rin ang sumakses na graduating senior ng Rizal. Ako lang to, si Lance Arevada.
At ako ang inyong podcaster by day, natutulog na, hindi na atenista by night.
Atenista ka pa rin.
Pero natutulog na by night. It's your boy, Jacob.
Yes, and for this episode, medyo nagkatuli lang packing ba? Pero dahil bagong bahay, bagong boses, bagong bukas. Ay, iba yan, iba. Bagong Pilipinas? Ay, mali. Ayun, bagong bahay, bagong simula. Simula. But pag-uusapan natin ngayon ang isa na namang pagbabalik ng bakit. Bagong bakit.
Nalala ko yung last nating bakit. Kasama ang nanalo ng
number one
party list. Akbayan party list.
Nating,
with their first nominee, Attorney
Congressman Chel Jokno. Grabe yun. Grabe. Talagang mapatanong ko na lang, bakit naging ganun ang resulta? And bakit may pag-asa tayo sa 2028? So, parang siguro pwede natin simulan dun sa disbelief ba?
Ito,
Skeptical. Go.
Did you expect it, Lan?
No.
Ano yung expectation ng Lance Arivada coming into the 2025 polls?
Matatalo si Kiko.
Bam lang yung papasok.
And barely. 11-12. Kasi yung sinasabi ng survey.
Oo.
Sinasabi ng survey, parang si Bam alanganin pa na makipaghabulan pa yan kay Camille, kay Pacquiao, kay Abalos. Parang ang daming laban-laban. Si Kiko, nakik na si Kiko sa contention. So sa akin, parang, basta makapasok man lang yung isa o dalawa sa binoto ko, okay na ako doon. Para kumbaga, strategic ba?
Oo. Kaya yung strategic vote, nung pinag-usapan din namin siya ni Lance parang days before the election, may mga kinoconsider ako, tapos parang sinasabi ni Lance sa akin, teka muna, hold on ka muna sa mga yan, kasi if magsa-strategic vote ka sa kanila, you're also making them compete against BAM. Nalala mo yun?
Oo.
Well,
yun nga eh. Tapos number 2.
Ako, medyo lumakas yung hope ko. Medyo tumaas siya sa ranking ko after the INC endorsement. Parang siguro I was expecting 10, 11, or 12.
Talaga?
Pero umangat siya like siguro mga 7, 8.
Pero yun nga, nung nauna kasi yung precincts na results than the national. Tapos nung nakikita ko sa Twitter and then sa number si Bam. Number si Bam.
Nalala ko nga, sabi mo nga yung nag-reply ako sa'yo. Sabi ko, hindi middle of the number 2.
Oo. Parang inisip ko, sige, baka kaya to mag-middle.
Oo, hindi middle. Number 2.
Honestly, kahit ngayon, hindi ko alam kung bakit. I mean, bakit nag-number 2 si Bam? Kasi, hindi sa may duda ako sa kanya. Pero yung kumbaga, nawala na kasi yung tiwala ko dun sa voting population natin with what happened with 2022. So, going into 2025, I was expecting that it was really an uphill battle for the both of them with only one making it at least barely to the Magic 12.
Pero nakailan ka?
Ako? 3. 3 ka na ata? O may isa ka pa? 4?
Nag-expect ako makaka-anim ako.
Hindi ko na parang medyo alangan na mag-reveal ng mga choices. Pero...
willing ako. Hindi ako...
Sige.
Ang 4 ko, Kiko, Bam, Ping, at saka... Sino pa ba yung isa? Sino pa ba?
Tatanungin mo sa akin.
Wait, sino yung 3 mo?
Hindi ko sasabihin. Ano yun? Sabi, kung nakapasok yung isa, si Amy Marcos ba? Si Camille? Hindi nakapasok si Pacquiao. Si Marcoleta?
Wait lang. Anong ranking nga ulit?
Si Abby Binay ba yung iisip mo? Kasi hindi na siya nakapasok.
Wait lang. Nag-Abby, nag-Ben-Hur ako.
Laglag.
Baka nag-Pia ako, I feel.
Nag-Pia ka. Baka pasok si Pia.
Oo, feeling ko.
Well,
hindi ko na maalala.
Yun, diba? Natas, kala natin, parang it's all over, na parang magiging dominant force pa rin si Marcos at Duterte. And even kasi sila yung nagdo-dominate.
And I feel like that was one of the reasons.
Na
nakalusot.
Bakit?
Kasi under yung numbers of kulang bawat faction And they were looking for someone from the middle ground. And they were parang the best person for that spot wasn't really a Willie. It wasn't really
si Willie, number 12 yung hayop na yun
Nagulat ako.
Diba?
Not only was it a bloodbath of upset, like a numerous...
Nalamangan siya ni Heidi Mendoza.
Yeah.
Oo. Diba? Parang, talaga, kaya pala.
Oo.
May pag-asa pala. Kumbaga. And I think that somehow says a lot also with the voting population.
And the rejection of celebrities. Ang dami sa mga artistang natalo.
So, sino-sino ba?
Well, Lito Lapid made it. We have Pacquiao who lost. We have Bong Revilla, Philip Salvador, Jimmy Bondoc, Willie Revilla I said Pacquiao already.
Si
Luis Manzano lost.
Si Angelica de la Cruz.
Shamsi barely
Dan
did
Fernandez.
not make it.
Basta marami. So,
Di pa natalo si Vilma?
Hindi, panalo si Vilma. Panalo.
Ah.
So, parang, I guess, siguro yung one factor na raise mo is rejection of celebrity. So, why do you think that's the case kaya?
If you,
Si Mocha Uson.
Mocha Uson was
Talo.
one. Yeah, oo. Si Sam Versosa.
Talo.
Oo. I think part of it was also the realization after Robin Padilla made it eh.
Paano realization?
Parang, di ba, ang daming sumuka na sa kanya after niyang manalo na after makita ko ano yung how he acted in the Senate. And parang a lot of people had that ick regarding celebrities running. And I feel like that took, kasi even in Twitter, you can see na parang in polling precincts, there were people talking about they're not voting for celebrities at all. So it's a total rehash of them seeing how it turned out after the 2022 polls and them hoping na this year they're gonna make better choices. And I feel like that was reflected on this one.
Sa akin, I wouldn't exactly agree on everything that you've said. Kasi parang, I guess, I wouldn't say total rejection, but rather, nagfe-fade na.
Oo.
Kasi, kahit sabihin nating mga celebrity ngayon, medyo alanganin. Well, si Tito Soto, si Lito Lapid.
Tito Soto it was not Cayetano, it was Soto.
Boto mo si Soto?
I voted for Soto.
Bakit? Okay. I won't judge you on the air for that. Pero, parang, di ba, is Tito Soto, nasa Itbulaga pa. Lito Lapid, nasa Batang Quiapo.
Oo.
So, parang, it's not necessarily na a total rejection. Kasi minsan, some household names are very strong. Like with what I've mentioned na they can still be there. But kay Bong Revilla, nagulat ako. Talagang wala na si Bong Revilla. I mean, yung budots niya, like action sa tunay na buhay, that could have been something
na think na maximize na yung clout niya in the last 2 years.
Diba?
Nagkaroon pa siya ng sitcom sa GMA.
Si Beno, ang daming show. Pero yung halatang pilit lang. Pero yung kay Bong na, parang kala ko, like, yung population natin, talagang kuwang-kuha pa rin ni Bong. And apparently, this election shows na people are looking for new, better options. And it's not something na parang yung nakasanayan na lang din. And for me, speaking of people, like, gusto kong i-bring up is siguro yung isa kong nakikitang factor din is yung sinasabi nila, although parang kailangan pa ng studies, yung pag-change sa voting population. Like ngayong 2025 midterms, nasa 18.3 million yung mga Gen Z. So that's 18 to 28 years old. And yung millennials, 29 to 44 years old, 23 million. So sila yung may greater chunk ng voting population. So this is more or less 23 plus 18. 41.3 million na katao.
What's the vote turnout ba?
Hindi ko alam, but I think it's higher than 80%. So parang...
So that's what in millions?
Ilan?
That's what in millions?
Ewan ko, tinatanong kita eh.
80%? Pero you have people older than millennials pa eh.
Yeah. But kumbaga, yung greater chunk na yon, parang sinasabi ng iba na parang that's also one theory kung bakit nanalo si Bam, kung bakit nanalo si Kiko. Kasi again, babalik tayo sa 2022 na itong mga kabataan na to, hindi naman lahat yan nakaboto. And yung mga bumawi, first-time voters on 2025, that's one. And two, ano bang platform ni Bam? Free college. Sinong, doon, like, beneficiary? Tayo.
Uh-oh.
I mean, technically, hindi tayo kasi hindi free yung college natin.
Yeah.
Pero, kumbaga, parang yun yung nag-capture ng population. Although, kailangan pa siya ma-prove eh.
Yeah. And I think one thing then to notice of the top two, they had stronghold of a certain tangible impact of their term. Kasi if you look at what is strong is a strong word of mouth regarding Bongo? Malasakit Center. Bam Aquino is free education. Free education. So parang I feel like it's also kasi even in conversations na parang there's a lot of Marcos voters, administration voters that carried BAM because of free education. There's a lot of Duterte voters that also carried BAM because of free education.
Kaya maraming tumitiran DDS ngayon kay BAM.
So it's also a matter of being able to see what you have done. So I think it just shows na it's also a matter of making it known what you have done in your term. Kasi diba, ito yung naging problema in the past. Like for example, with Lenny, laging kine-question nasaan siya pag mga ganito. Parang, it's still also important na hindi ka mapapel, pero you put your name out there into taking that stamp and not allowing others to take credit for it.
Gets.
Yeah.
And I guess another thing also that could explain yung sa popularity with the youth is, I mean, na yun yung factor is kasi dadako naman tayo sa party list race. Number 1, Chel Jokno, Akbayan. Parang sa akin, yun yung pinakang epitome joke. Yun yung pinaka nag-exemplify nung power ng youth vote for me. Hindi ko naman sinasabi na yung mga matatanda hindi bumoto ng Akbayan. Pero yung popularity ni Chel Jokno na millions of votes na yung nakuha niya nung 2022 senatorial elections, parang nakita ko, nag-translate siya dun mismo sa na-capture na 2 million mahigit na Akbayan votes, kaya sila nag-number 1 and 3 party list representative yung uupo sa kanila sa Congress. Kasi like, yun yung parang, well, may away ngayon ng kabataan, I mean, mga not Dems and social National Democratic circle. So, sila yung mga anak bayan, kabataan, Gabriela. Bayan muna. And then yung mga social
and
democrats.
Marami ding nawalan ng nawalan din sila ng seats.
And then yung SOC Dems, akbayan, generally, parang away sila na genuine representation. Pero by the fact na parang campaign strategy ng akbayan na mag-focus na party list ni Chel Jokno at Risa Hontiveros, it made them popular and appealing to the youth base. By that fact alone, we can see na kaya din sila nag number 1.
Yeah.
Ikaw ba, akbayan binoto mo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Initially, dapat plan ko siyang i-spread out. Kaso, medyo kinabahan ako sa security So, sabi ko, okay, all
No,
pero at least na itawid, nakapasok si De Lima.
Yeah, ML.
Nakapasok din ang kabataan.
Oo, pasok.
Yes.
Pati ACT teachers.
Nakapasok na sila.
Yeah, ang Gabriela ang alanganin. Or baka at this time wala na
parang
sila.
wala na. And then, Gabriela and then Bayan muna.
Yun din.
And sayang Gabriela because the rep Sara Eliago.
Okay naman.
Yeah.
Kumbaga, it's a matter of also, I guess, when we see it in the larger picture, we have BAM, number 2, Kiko, number 5, Chel, Akbayan, number 1, ML ni De Lima, pasok, number 14. And then, you all have progressive representatives pa rin. Parang it points out na parang I think, kaya tayo parang skeptical. But I think yung bigger picture is we did something better this time around. Na parang we did something that was effective for this side of the political spectrum of our country na nakita natin na nag-resonate sa voters. So parang question right now is, so eto na to nangyari na to. Like, ano ba yung parang tuwa ko yung postery sa mga kaibigan? Tapos nandun sila, lahat sila sumakses.
Oo. Ang daming nagkikriticize ng mga pa-memes nila na but it worked.
Well, cringy siya, but basta kung ano mang ginawa nila, it worked.
It worked.
So what's next?
Hi, I'm Victor Anastasio of Comedy Manila. Are you looking for positive vibes and inspiration in your daily life? Di wag kang makinig sa podcast ko dahil baka mabwisit ka lang. Intellectual Wall with Victor Anastasio. Ano bang pinag-iisipan at pinapag-complainan ng isang komedyante? Ano ba ang isang stand-up comedian sa Pilipinas sa likod ng tabing ng entablado? Yan ang i-reveal natin sa Intellectual Wall with Victor Anastasio, produced by the Pod Network.
Bakit ngayon we should be hopeful for 2028? Diba?
Feeling ko rather than hopeful, we should be more proactive in taking action.
How?
Not just us, but it's also the people. Kasi I feel like what worked for Vico, parang ito din sinasabi kay Bam now that tinitira siya. Yung parang Vico was quick-witted, quick in making action to fight back against this information with receipts. Fight back with receipts. I think one of the biggest mistakes of Lenny in 2022 was it took a while before she spoke.
Parang di ka lang magmahal.
Oo, parang hinayaan niyo na lang kung ano yung narrative na pinuput out there. But narrative is powerful. Narrative said 1,000 times becomes the truth.
Parang si nagsabi niyan?
Yun nagsabi nun.
Parang kote na Maria Reza. Sabi niyo...
So
hindi.
No, this was some other.
Hindi.
This was in a class.
Kilala ko yan.
Sino?
Kilala ko si Nate mo. Ako niyan. Hitler yan.
Hitler ba?
Diba? Yung sa propaganda.
Sinabi mo to sa orals.
Parang when you say a lie 1,000 times, a basic lie, it becomes a
truth. So parang it's a matter of shaping narrative eh. Kasi elections is a battle of narratives. And it's a matter of which narrative comes on top. And which prevails. So it's a matter of making sure that your narrative is the narrative that matters, is the narrative that's true for your current context. Kasi parang if you allow this information to prevail, a lot of people will believe that. And pag naniwala na sila, mahirap mo nang baliktarin yon. So I think it's a matter of ensuring that whenever there are words coming out there, once parang kumakalat na talaga yung mga narratives, it's important to address it immediately. Wag nang antayin mag-election because dun siya magmumukhang nangangampanya lang siya. Gumagalaw lang siya kasi election. Kailangan kahit election man o hindi, wag hayaang ang mga naratibong mali ang mamayani.
Yun nga yung parang, yun yung parang laging tinathrow dito sa genuine opposition naman na talaga, na parang hindi naman ganun ka-genuine talaga, na parang nagpapakitang tao lang ba, ganun. And I think yun yung parang challenge for them. Kasi 2016 natalo sila, 2019 natalo sila, 2022 natalo sila. After 3 elections, they are now given that space again for them to deliver. For them to show that there is an alternative. Although, ang hirap pa rin isipin, pero yun yung pinakita ng election na to. That there is a space for an alternative narrative. Hindi yung si Marcos at si Duterte na naghahatakan lang pababa. So, what is that space for alternative narrative? They must deliver the kind of good governance, the kind of policies, the kind of great, progressive, people-centered, sustainable campaign platforms na pinangako nila. The challenge for them now is now that they are back in power, all of them in Sinalaila and all, ano naman ngayon yung papakita nila sa tao? Like, yun yung parang na parang just, it will show that performance is not just because para sa election. Yeah. But after the elections, ngayon na parang prosecutor si Congressman Chel at Congresswoman Laila sa impeachment ni Sara Duterte. Si Bam Aquino, sabi niya, libreng edukasyon, siguradong trabaho. O, libre ngayon tuition sa college, anong susunod? Yeah. Si Kiko, sabi niya, papabay niya yung presyo ng pagkain and walang kulay ang gutom, na ready siya mag-work sa administration. Paano niya gagawin yun? Parang sa atin siguro, like, gets yung sinasabi mo na proactiveness. But there's also that na dapat tayo rin naniningil. Na siguraduhin nyo na ngayon na umuokay na tayo Nandyan na ulit kayo. Suportado namin kayo. Make it worth it. Make it deserve, na parang worth of the energy para hindi na ulit kayo mawala. And who knows, para umangat din kayo. Parang sa akin, that's the hope for 2028. Na nandito na ulit, marami pang trabaho, marami pang kailangan gawin. Si Mayor Lenny sa Naga, anong klaseng pamamalakad ba yung gusto niya pakita na pwede niya pakita sa buong bansa? Si Mayor Joy, si Mayor Vico, Mayor Magalong.
Limit na.
I mean, ang daming mga magagandang pangalan, and parang we could be more Vico Soto, not just in terms of attacking the narrative spread, but also in delivering the basic services, the quality, good governance that the people deserves. And I hope na once na they get to do this, na basta hindi sila mababahiran or kaya rin nilang pigilan or kontrahin yung mga troll, yung mga DDS, may fighting chance tayo for 2020. Well, pero ang bilis na, 3 years na si Marcos. Parang kailan lang...
I'll be honest, it was better than expected.
Pero, sige, name one key policy ni Marcos na talaga nag-benefit yung marami or like iconic. Isipin mo, yun ang problema ni Marcos.
Yeah.
Wala. Bukod sa policy Duterte,
yun
wala
lang.
akong isip. And yun yung dapat din struggle niya na dapat din matutunan ng mga nina Kiko, nina Bam. Na make sure na when you play your game, it will be in a way na, sige, baka magpakatrapo ka, but there's no such space for purist anymore. Pero ngayon na nandyan na kayo, kailangan tumatak kayo sa tao.
Oo. Tsaka kailangan magaling kang lumaro.
Kaya feeling mo ba magtatrabaho ko na communications officer? Woo! Ayaw mo.
Sinabi ko na to, gusto kong paka-Olivia Pope.
Oo nga So ito na.
Hindi communications, crisis manager.
Communications comes with crisis naman.
Hindi, gusto ko tinatawag lang ako pag may problema na. Ayoko na ako yung humaharap araw-araw.
Gets.
Pero yun, siguro on my end naman, not in the officials, in the people, I think a lot of people share the same sentiment naman, but it's time to be more smarter. Not really smarter. Strategic.
In what way?
I don't know if you would agree with this. Na parang, a lot of people don't see the point or parang did not see the vision on Lenny's endorsement.
Pero sa sample ballot ni Lenny, hindi niya sinabi mga in-endorse niya. But go.
But I see merit in terms of that decision.
Bakit?
Kasi I feel like kasi you don't question someone with the numbers from the inside. Kasi and knowing the numbers from the inside, the what she's playing around with, she knows she's just playing around 11, 12, 13, and 14. If we did deliver and we did help her with that, we could have pulled down 10, 11, 12. Not just Aimee. But, I think one of the one of the key points of this election is the numbers towards the upcoming impeachment.
Totoo.
Now the question is, now pumasok yung 10, 11, 12. What are your odds? Your odds are worse than 11 to 14. Yes. Kasi pag pinasok mo dyan Ben-Hur, pinasok mo dyan Abby Binay, pinasok mo dyan Ben Tulfo, your odds are way better.
Pero kasi it's not just about impeachment though.
No, but that's one key, that's one key issue. That's one key point. And at the end of the day, I feel like in Senate performance, we'll see better things from the three of them rather than the three that's there. Then 10, 11, 12, then 13, 15, 17.
Okay,
16.
Hindi ko, kabisado yung mababa.
Yeah.
Pero sa akin, parang, I think also that there is merit in not doing so. Parang, I think being strategic is an individual choice and it's not something na we can't expect people to do so. Kasi kunwari, endorsement ni Lenny. Kumbaga, kung matalino, kaya may pushback, kaya may resistance, kasi nag-iisip na, matalino na yung mga botan. Alam nila, dynasty yan. Alam nila, like, sa franchise killer or dynasty or yun, si Pacquiao. Homophobic. Pero, if parang baka sumunod lang tayo, baka blindly, or at least sumunod like a shepherd and their flock, parang it also runs the risk of what's the difference between us and the other camps. Na parang, nung pinagkaiba niya kung susunod lang din pala kayo. So, may individual merit yun. Pero, I guess it's more of fielding candidates talaga na tingnan mo may pasok. Strategic sila kasi 2 lang, hindi 8. Pero, if pagdating ng 2028, parami nila yan. Pero kahit hindi full slate, I think may laban sila.
Oo.
Sana. I mean, yun naman din. Kasi matagal na eh. I mean, matagal pa. Pero malapit na yung 2028.
Pero may hints ng 2028 na ha.
Sino, Sarah?
I mean, not just Sarah. Pero, if you notice yung statement ni BBM
Ano yun?
after the election, yung parang, what is this pinpointing? Yung sa gobyernong tapat, kasamang lahat.
Di ba?
Parang sabi ko,
Para may something.
And I guess reading online then with sentiments of people, that's his best chances din eh.
Pero I wouldn't say na everyone would agree on both sides.
Not.
And everyone would result to that.
Yeah. Not everyone, it won't sit well with everyone.
And parang ayoko din yun. Kahit sabihin mong si BBM may ganun na. Kasi there are principles that are really non-negotiables.
Tsaka, parang ang hirap isikmura nung ganon. Yeah.
Pero mali natin. Mali
Let's see
natin
where
kung
it
sino yung
goes.
successor niya. Pero,
But it's hard then kasi if we look at fielding multiple candidates, we'll have a risk of a 2016.
gets. So, I guess siguro with our final question, ano yung parang something na hinahope mo na mangyari for 2028?
Siguro, I hope for 2028 is that the past mistakes will be used as an opportunity to rebuild the camps kasi ang daming nawala from the last time we won, which is like 2013. The last senatorial election that we won. We lost a lot of people, we lost a lot of supporters. Parang ang daming nawala from that side. So I feel like it's an opportunity to rebuild and strengthen the narratives to not just narratives but also strategy, to rethink strategy, how we do things, how we put forward our narratives, how we put forward our stories, and how we ensure that parang we're not overshadowed by fake news, by trolling and all that. And what my hope is for a genuine opposition to to pull through on the 2028 polls. Kasi I don't know who that will be. A lot of different permutations coming out na parang there's people saying na, oh, it's BAM na. There's a lot of people saying na, oh no, still Lenny pa rin. We still don't know the numbers, and deep inside, it's only them that may know the current standing on who's a better person to field. But whoever it is, hopefully they learn from the lessons of 2022, 2016, and it won't be repeated again. Kasi sayang na yung nabuong sayang if matatalo na naman eh.
Totoo. I guess sa akin, one key point na lang is I hope that we can be much more massive by 2028. In terms of voting population, sana yung mas bata sa atin, mga first-time voters and mga bumoto ng ngayong election and nung 22, mas ma-mobilize sila towards the more progressive and more genuine opposition and in rejection of the 30 camps. That's one. Two, parang massive in terms of yung operations. Nakita natin yung mga Lenny Rally, and if we could pull off something like that again but much bigger, that would be much more better. But at the same time, yung massive in terms of controlling and dominating the narrative na you wouldn't leave any space for doubt or improvement. Lalo na kunwari sa mga trolls online, sa mga fake news, dapat mas tayo doon. And lastly, much more massive in terms of candidates. I think kung kaya nila, much more pa kaya, ano pa kaya yung kayang gawin ng mga susunod pa sa kanila. So, tingnan natin, malay natin na we won't see the last of Heidi Mendoza and si Luke Espiritu na ang tataas din ng mga boto. So, malaman pa natin. Tignan pa natin. But ngayon, parang, I think that's a cautious hope na, yun.
But there's a lot of people who's also term limit na. There's
Yun.
Joy. There's Vico. There's...
Basta yun, dalawa.
Yeah.
Parang, that's also one thing na baka much more massive. In terms of them joining or kung ano pang plano nila sa politika.
Yeah.
Yun. Kaya, tingnan na lang natin. And
3 years is 3 years. Pero ang bilis ng 3 years.
totoo.
Who would have thought we're halfway through a Marcos administration?
But yun, magtatapos na rin naman siya. At yun, tingnan na lang din natin parang sa mga brands natin dyan, kung tingnan natin kung magka-vibe tayo or for collabs. Email na lang kami sa ganitokasiyanpod@gmail.com. And kung nagustuhan itong episode na to, tag nyo kami sa mga social media platforms. It's at GKYPod on all social media platforms. And ako naman, LNCRVDA on Instagram. Ikaw naman, Diego.
Charles Jacob on all social media platforms.
At huwag nyo kakalimutan, nag-release kami ng episode every Saturday. Hit yung notification bell, i-ring nyo na yan, and then rate nyo na kayong 5 stars. Kung gusto nyo panoorin nyo rin kami sa YouTube kung may time kayo. Dahil nandun naman pala kami. And yun.
Sa YouTube channel kami ng The Pod Network Entertainment.
So siya lang, ganito kasi yan. Pero yun, wag natin kakalimutan na kahit maganda yung laban natin, hindi pa rin nagtatapos yung mas mahaba, mas malawak nating laban. And tayo ay magpapatuloy lang and hopefully sumakses tayong lahat in 2028. At ito pa rin ang Ganito Kasi Yan.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.